Attention, ladies and gentlemen! Welcome to the Lean Six Sigma for All session. Please let me know if my audio is okay. Mainly my audio. From 0 to 10, please. How is my audio? That's amazing. Today, I want to explore, it's a kind of continuation from our session about hypothesis tests, okay? So where are you in the Lean Six Sigma journey? Type here for me, what is your highest, okay, Lean Six Sigma certification, please. So we have yellow, black belt plus AI, that's amazing. Green belt, black belt, yellow belt, okay. Wonderful. So just a quick check. When I talk about hypothesis test, do I collect sample data or population data? Type here for me. Okay, Frank. When I talk about hypothesis test, I do collect sample data or population data. I do collect sample data. Excellent. And the conclusions are conclusions about sample or population. The conclusions are about sample or population. Yeah, the conclusions are about population. Okay, the conclusions are about population. And then from 0 to 10, how comfortable are you with the concepts of null and alternative hypothesis from 0 to 10? Let me open up my mini tab. Okay, this is very important. What I will explain here is very important. If you randomly pick a black belt, okay, in the market, less than 5%, they will understand that. Less than 5% of the black belts in the market, not the MFOPEX black belt, okay? If you take the MFOPEX black belt certified by me, I believe that this number is much higher, okay? It's 1 minus 5%, it's 95%. Yeah, that know this concept. But hypothesis test, we are not talking about the sample itself, okay? Or different samples. In the example that I'll be showing here, 2 sample T, I'm gonna use like 2 different data sets, let's say from 2 different suppliers regarding, we can even pick the classic example from Minitab help, okay? And there is a very common mistake that people think that we are talking about the sample, but no, we are projecting, we are inferring, okay, the population performance. This is very important to keep in mind. And then when we talk about hypothesis test, we always need to set a null hypothesis, and many times you will not be setting. In fact, theoretically, you will never set a null hypothesis. The null hypothesis is there. You can change your alternative hypothesis. For example, if you want to run a one-sided test versus two-sided test, okay? But I want to talk specifically about the null hypothesis. What is this exactly? What is null hypothesis? And so, to explain that, I want to show a ToSimpleT. Okay, so I am using Minitab, but you can do this in other softwares as well. I will come here, stat, basic statistics, ToSimpleT. Okay, so again, and by the way, guys, how is the quality of the image? Is it broadcasting in full HD? Let me just double check that. I hope you guys can see in full HD. That's clear, right? But I think it's not full HD. Yes. I truly want to double check that. 1 second. Not because of my image, but because of Minitab. I want you guys to have the very best experience. YouTube. Yes, okay. So there's an option for full HD for you guys, right? Yes, okay. So there's an option for full HD. Ok, excellent. Muito obrigado, Rose. Obrigado. Okay, Wesley, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So once again, in case you guys want to replicate stat basic statistics ToSimpleT. Okay, stat basic statistics and ToSimpleT. I will be using ToSimpleT to determine whether the mean differs significantly between two groups, like two different means. Okay. So ToSimpleT, I will click here in help. Okay, almost always you will find a very cool example in help, so you can practice. Yeah, let me show you guys here. You can change the language at the very bottom. Yeah. And then if you click here, you see an example on the left hand side. Okay. So a healthcare consultant wants to compare the patient satisfaction ratings of two hospitals. Even knowing that this is not exactly continuous data, we'll be using ToSimpleT, okay? The consultant collects ratings from 20 patients for each of the hospitals, okay? So we have independent samples, very likely random samples, and then we have here the data. Okay, and one of the ways to open up here is to simply double click. Yeah, And so there are basically two ways to present the data, okay? You can have, for example, the rating in one column and then the hospital in another column. Or if you prefer, you can unstack columns, okay? If you prefer, you can unstack columns, yeah? Data, unstack columns. So rating, and I want to unstack based on hospital. And then you can put after last column in use. So I have hospital A and hospital B from 0 to 10. How much are you following me when I say that I have two hospitals? I went to one hospital and I was able to select, to collect, you know, the satisfaction score, let's say, yeah, and here let's assume that this is continuous because this is not exactly continuous data. So I was able to talk randomly, yeah, to 20 people, and these people, they are not connected, they are not associated at all. So we have an independent sample. We do have a random sample by the size of 20 in hospital A and in hospital B. Okay, there are many other things that we should, let's say, check in terms of sampling. For example, if the sample is contextual, when did you take? When they got there at the hospital, when they are leaving the hospital. If it is when they are leaving, we need to question if the treatment was successful, if the service was successful, if it was not, because for sure it impacts, you know, the rating. I hope you guys are following me. Remember that a sample, it's not only about the sample size. A sample must be sufficient. Yeah, it has to do with many things, including the power of the test in this case, but in general, sample size has a lot to do with the margin of error in your conclusion. Yeah. So your sample must be sufficient, must be randomly collected, must be reliable, meaning if I see 81, I need to be sure that this is not 18 and the person like by accident wrote, you know, like 1 and 8 instead of 8 and 1. Yeah, your sample must be well segmented. This is very important, very important. What is your research question? What is your research question? So if you want to talk about ER, the satisfaction, specifically about emergency room, yeah, you need to collect samples from ER, yeah, not from maternity, not from, you know, other parts of the hospital. Are you guys following me? Yeah. So your sample must be sufficient, must be reliable, must be contextual, must be well segmented, and it must be random. Yeah, and in order to run a two-sample T, just out of curiosity, many people think that we should run a normality test for both data sets. This is questionable. This is questionable. And by the way, we want to be assertive, guys, okay? All 100% of the analysis, statistical analysis or any other analysis performed in this planet, you know, can be criticized. We can find, you know, professors, researchers, we can find people that will argue in a direction to point, you know, to the conclusion that a certain analysis is wrong. From 0 to 10, how much are you following? Type George box if you understand that it's all about modeling and all models are wrong. Type George Box if you understand what I am talking about here. Yeah, it's impossible to run a statistical analysis or any other analysis completely free from mistakes. At certain level we will always make mistakes. Okay, Marcelo, so what's the point? No, many times, even knowing that our analysis is limited, it will be useful. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So if I know that when I fly from Sao Paulo, from Brazil to the United States, the flight is full of mistakes, and I don't know if this is a good example. Even knowing that from Brazil to United States, from Sao Paulo to New York, the flight is full of mistakes, I hope it is sufficiently good for me and all the other passengers to reach the United States safely. And why am I saying that? Don't fall into the trap of being paranoid. Don't be paranoid. Don't be paranoid on this, trying to be 100%, methodologically correct in your analysis, because then you will be paralyzed. No analysis paralysis. Fight analysis paralysis. No guessing. I am not telling you to guess. No guessing. But the opposite of guessing is getting paranoid. Don't get paranoid. Otherwise, you will not do anything. You will be a sad person. I don't want you to be sad. Yeah, if you get too close to reality, you will get mad. Don't be too close. Don't be too close to reality. Don't deep dive. Please go to Gamba. Find the truth. But when we are talking about running analysis, specifically about modeling, we must find the optimal place to explode our assertiveness. We want to be very assertive as possible, but don't get paranoid. Don't get paranoid, okay? So, if possible, type here, no guessing, no analysis paralysis. This is too long to write. No guessing. Guessing is amateur. Then what's the point of guessing? You don't learn anything from guessing. No guessing, but no analysis paralysis. I had a chance in Sharjah, close to Dubai, to see, I swear to God, to see a 3-hour discussion. I'm talking about 3 hours. I'm talking about 180 minutes discussion about the concept of detectability on an FMEA meeting. Yes, I just started working for Nielsen, and so I decided to, to listen more than, acting and giving my recommendation at that time. So I was neutral, but very frustrated to be there on an FMEA, failure mode and effect analysis, and then we had just to score from 1 to 10 a certain failure mode with the potential cause and the detectability element, resources at that time to detect the potential cause, just to score from 1 to 10. and the discussion got, heated and heated and heated. And believe it or not, the FMEA leader of the region, I spent 3 hours with Rashid. I'll never forget his name, Rashid from Morocco. Nothing against Morocco and nothing against Rashids. Don't get me wrong. But this specific Rashid from Morocco, spent 3 hours. So don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. We want to be assertive. Yeah? All models are wrong. Some are useful. So, STAT, basic statistics, choose sample T. And you can either use these columns here, C1 and C2, or C3 and C4. Okay. And then I want to explore with you guys. Okay. What is the null hypothesis and what is the alternative hypothesis? So please, today, don't think now initially on p-value, t-value, or degrees of freedom. I want to talk specifically about this. Okay, so this is null hypothesis and this is alternative hypothesis, or null hypothesis and H1, yeah? Do you understand that mu1 minus mu2 equals 0 is the same of mu1 equals mu2? From 0 to 10, how much do you understand that? That this expression here, I am terrible in drawing with mouse, but I hope you guys can. This is a mu 1 equals mu 2. Okay. I think I deserve a round of applause for this. mu1 equals mu2. And I think right now Arthur can draw much better than I. My 1.5, 1.5-year-old boy. So what I want to discuss with you today is null hypothesis is synonym of status quo. Status quo. Status quo means if I ask you, which hospital is the best one, hospital A or hospital B? Which one? Hospital A or hospital B? Status quo, like initially, I don't have data. I cannot say anything. So it is fair. It is fair to assume that until I collect some data, I'm gonna assume that hospital A equals hospital B. Type understood if you understood that. Supplier A equals supplier B. Manufacturing line A equals manufacturing line B. Operate John equals Mary. Afternoon shift equals the performance of morning shift. That's it. And then mu is the representation of what? Type here for me. Mu is the representation of what? Mu, yeah, this Greek letter is the representation of what? I'm gonna give you a tip. X bar. Yes, beautiful Samsung. Beautiful. Jolardful, beautiful. Mu is a letter from the Greek alphabet that means mean, that indicates mean, average, mean. But I thought mean was represented by X bar. I thought there is X bar R, control chart, X bar S. I thought mean was represented by X bar, not by mu. See, Mafala. Mu indicates the population mean. In this case, the rating from all the patients in the history of that hospital. 100% population, the ratings, the scores from 100% of the patients on that hospital. Are you guys following me? This is so important, guys. If you understand this, it will unlock so many things in terms of statistical analysis for you. If you fully understand that, it will remove an important roadblock in your learning process. Because inferential statistics is about looking at a sample and making conclusions about the population. So see, this is so beautiful, and we should be thankful to many people, but in terms of making this conversation more popular, more accessible, we should be thankful to Ronald Fisher. We should be so thankful to Ronald Fisher. Because what we are saying is the null hypothesis, the status quo is hospital A score, mean score equals to the average score of hospital B. Like they are the same. If you have a problem, you can go to hospital A or hospital B. Here, we will not be discussing about should we rely on mean or not. Because we have tests for variation. You can run with the same mechanics. You can run two variances test, for example. Yeah? But I want to check if the population mean for hospital A, for the satisfaction scores, equals the population mean for the satisfaction score. Yeah, so they are calling satisfaction ratings. Okay, are we good? Well, if I want to check if population mean of hospital A equals population mean of hospital B, why am I collecting a sample? This is inconsistent. I want to check if the population mean of satisfaction ratings for hospital A equals satisfaction mean of hospital B. Are you guys following me? So I need to have population data. I cannot have sample. Type good question if you understand that this is a good question. Do you understand this question? It's a good question, right? Okay, so if I wanna check Now please, full attention. Attention, ladies and gentlemen, I need your full attention. Type full attention if I have you stop multitasking, stop talking to your husband, to your wife. Full attention here, just few seconds with Marcelino. To prove no hypothesis, I need population data. But to reject no hypothesis, I don't need population data. I may be able to reject the null hypothesis, meaning they are not equal, with a sample. Do you know exactly my net worth? Do you guys know, yes or not? Exactly my net worth. Like the apartments that I have here in Brazil, that I own here in Brazil, the car that I have, that I drive, my guitars, my bank account, my investments. Do you guys know? No. You don't have data about that. Do you have exactly the all the data points from this guy here? Let me show a picture. I don't know if you guys know this gentleman here. Do you know this gentleman? Cristiano Ronaldo? Yeah? Do you have Cristiano Ronaldo? Do you have Cristiano Ronaldo data? No, I mean detailed data. I want to know if you know exactly which cars he has, how many houses he owns. Exactly. Do you have like population data? Do you have population data? Financial population data from Cristiano Ronaldo and from Marcelinho, your professor? No. So can you help me evaluating the hypothesis that the net worth of Professor Marcelinho equals net worth of Cristiano Ronaldo? Can you help me? Can you help me? Yes, you can help me. And you may be very assertive without having all data points from Marcelo and from Cristiano Ronaldo. But you have few data points. You have Professor Marcelo hair. Take a look at my hair. And take a look at Cristiano Ronaldo's hair. Probably his hair spray costs more than my computer. Probably. And then you can go to, let's go to Cristiano Ronaldo Instagram, and let's take a look in Cristiano Ronaldo's Instagram, okay? Cristiano Ronaldo, and let's collect some sample. I want to collect samples. Are you guys following me? And Instagram of Professor Marcelo. Yeah, my Instagram. Let's compare. Let's compare, these two systems. Let's compare these two systems. Yeah? So let's see if we can find some samples here. Posts. Interesting, very interesting. Cristiano Ronaldo. Okay, probably this is one of his cars, one of his watches. Are you guys following me? Let's see if we can see the brand. I don't know very much about watches. I know I have fancy students, so you guys help me. Yeah, I don't know how much does it cost, but probably it costs my apartment in Brazil. I don't know, but let's talk about the car seat of one of the cars from Cristiano Ronaldo. This is the car seat from one of the cars of Cristiano Ronaldo versus, let's see if there's a picture of my car. Take a look here. That's a good sample. Marcelo is wearing some flip-flops. This is a sample. This is a sample, you know. Let's see if there is a sample from my car. Let's see. This is my car. No, I'm joking. This is not my car. Let me see if there is a sample of my car. Are you guys following me? If I want to prove the null hypothesis, the net worth of Marcelo is equal to the net worth of Cristiano Ronaldo, then I need to have population data. But I may find some random sample from Cristiano Ronaldo and compare with some random sample from Professor Marcelo, and all of us, we will conclude very easily that I don't know about happiness. Maybe we are tied in terms of happiness, in general. I feel very blessed. I feel very happy. I am not complaining about anything. We are just talking about net worth, okay? And maybe Cristiano Ronaldo has, I don't know, I think it's billions, right? Billions US dollars. And I don't have billions. So see, with a sample from Marcelo, and a sample from Cristiano Ronaldo, I may be able to reject the null hypothesis. So now I know that hospital A is different from hospital B. And if I don't have enough evidences, let me see one here that I know. Let me take just randomly, Dr. Annelise Boats. I don't know. I know that Annelise is my student. I know that she always participates in my open sessions. She's a very engaged student, but I don't have more information about Annelise. If we replicate this exercise like Annelise and Professor Marcelo, I don't have enough data to reject null hypothesis. And so what's the conclusion? The conclusion is that we are the same. No, the conclusion is we don't have enough evidences to reject null hypothesis. Marcelo and Cristiano Ronaldo, I do have enough evidences to reject the null hypothesis. But Marcelo and Dr. Annelise, we don't have enough evidences. So that's why we never accept null hypothesis. We never accept null hypothesis. It's not about rejecting and accepting null hypothesis. You reject or you fail to reject. When you say that you failed to reject, you are saying it's inconclusive. It's inconclusive. I cannot conclude anything about that. It's like my father-in-law, the father of my wife. He's police chief, retired police chief. And I don't know in your country, but here in Brazil we have, if the translation is correct, like military police and you have like an investigation police. It's like blah, 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 law enforcement in the United States and FBI. My father-in-law is from FBI, the equivalent of FBI in Brazil, Polícia Civil. And so he's an expert in investigation, you know, in investigation. And so he used to be the director of the jail in my city, you know. And so I don't know if you guys know, but all the investigators or in justice in general, you have guilty and not guilty. You don't have innocent. From 0 to 10, how much did you understand that? You have guilty and not guilty, meaning I was able to find enough evidences to to move you from this place to the jail, or I don't have evidences. No one is innocent, like has the label of innocent, guilty or not guilty. And not guilty, in fact, is inconclusive. We don't have enough evidence. I want to use an example here, but I am afraid that this is sensitive. Type OK if I may use an example that may be sensitive. It's a sad example. Daniel Alves. Daniel Alves is a Brazilian. It's a Brazilian soccer and player. Right now, I believe a retired soccer player, and he was just released. Daniel Alves. Yes, he was kept in jail from Jan 2023 to March 2024 until he was released after paying 1 million euros. But like his attorneys, and again, guys, I am not defending Daniel Alves, please. I am just using as an example. His attorneys, they were able to question the evidences. So it's like going to Minitab and then you lose a data point. And then I lost another data point. And then I lost another data point. And then I want to run a two sample T, but I don't have data in one column. I don't have data. Or the data that I have is the data that shows that Daniel Alves is a normal person, for example. And he did not do all the bad things that he's been accused, And again, I am not questioning the sexual assault, And I am aware that this is a drama for many, many people in the world. I know that, okay? But I'm just saying that the mechanics that was used was the attorneys went to pretty much to say that these data points here are not valid. So I'm changing my sample. Now I have another sample, and when I run a hypothesis test, for example, I don't have enough evidences to keep him in the jail. Yes? Do you guys understand that? But the guilty, not innocent is a very good example. I'm glad to know that, Wesley. Yeah. And you may think that, Marcelo, but this is too theoretical. No, this is not theoretical. Because in your job as an independent consultant or in the company that you work for, you or we should never state things like supplier A has the same performance of supplier B. We should never do that. We should write and put in our presentation, in our reports, we don't have evidences to say that supplier A is different from supplier B. Ooh. Type different if you understood now that this is different. When you write down to a customer or to your boss, to your manager, we don't have evidences to say that machine 1 is different from machine 2. So we should not discharge, we should not retire machine 1. We don't have evidence. So, the status quo, we should stay with status quo. What's status quo? Machine 1 equals machine 2. But are you saying that the performances are exactly the same? No. What I'm saying is that based on this sample, based on the data that we have, we don't have evidences to say that the difference is statistically significant. And preferably, you should place a certain effect, Preferably, you should say, state, for example, here, see that there is a clear difference in terms of the sample. The difference is 21. So you may consider setting a difference. For example, I want to see if the difference is greater than 20, greater than 20. So in this case, you see that p-value is greater than 0.05, meaning mu1 equals 20 plus mu2, you should stay with that. You cannot reject that. By the way, this is the most correct way to run a hypothesis test with two data sets, like two or more, two data sets, like two sample t, like Moore's median test, like two proportions, you can set a difference. So I am saying mu1 is, the difference between mu1 and mu2 is statistically significant by 20. Like we have a certain absolute difference, Or obviously, if you want to keep it simple or as a starting point, you can definitely go for they are different, just that, But every time that you use with 0, you need to be careful with something that we call statistical significance and practical significance. Yeah. And why am I saying that? Because sometimes the difference is statistically significant because of your sample size. Yeah, this is a good topic for another session. So one of the factors that influence power is the ability to reject the null hypothesis when you should reject. Yeah. One of the elements is the sample size. Yeah. But this is a topic for another session. Today I just want to convince you, to explain to you that we should never reject the null hypothesis. Why? Because in order to, we should never accept null hypothesis. Because in order to accept null hypothesis, we should have the population data. So you can either reject null hypothesis or fail to reject. So type eye-opening if this conversation, properly entered your mind and your heart, in fact. Yes, type eye-opening. Eye-opening. Yeah, I think the easiest way is, you have two options, Mervin. You can either reject or not reject. Reject or not reject. Not reject is equivalent to accept. Yeah. We use terms like we stay with null hypothesis. We assume null hypothesis. Good example of that is normality test. Normality test we have in the null hypothesis that data equals normal, yeah, or data behaves according to a normal probability distribution. This is the status quo. So you can either reject or fail to reject. When you fail to reject, you say, my data is normal, my data is normal. But in fact, you should say, I was not able to prove that my data is significantly non-symmetric, you know? So if I was not able to prove that my data is non-normal, I'm gonna assume, I'm gonna stay with the assumption, that my data is normal. How do you notice that your power is low? You can in fact calculate power. You can calculate power. Yeah. And I like the threshold. I like power from 80% to 90%. Remember that we have alpha, that is 5% that we use as a reference for p-value. Yeah, less than alpha, less or equal than alpha, we reject the null hypothesis. Greater than alpha, we fail to reject. And alpha normally is 1 minus confidence level. Confidence level is the famous 95%. Yeah? And power is 1 minus beta. Yeah? And so a very common, very popular beta is 20%. So power 80%. But you don't want too much power, because if you have more than 90%, then you are too sensitive. Then everything will give you a p-value less than 0.05, and you don't want that, because for sure you will have headaches. You don't want to go to your customer and say, what is critical in your process? Everything. Okay, so if everything is critical, I need to monitor everything, I need to control everything, and this is not feasible. This is being paranoid. This is being paranoid, Arthur, my 1.5-year-old son, now he is 100% confident that he can climb Everest. He is 100% sure that he can fly. Yeah, he can fly. I need to pay close attention to Arthur, me, my wife, But if he's walking from here to there, and he starts running, he's 1.5 years old, he starts running, this is good. I should not freak out because he's running and eventually he will fall down and hurt, his mouth. I cannot prevent my son from get injured at a certain level. Are you guys following me? I need to prevent my son from flying. That's maybe a good thing to do. So this is power from 80 to 90%, but from running inside our apartment and eventually falling down. But my mother-in-law does not understand that. My mother-in-law operates at the power of 99.99999%. According to my lovely mother-in-law, my son is made by glass. By glass, He should be protected at all times, And yes, with love. This is very unfair from my side because she does not have the opportunity to defend herself here. But this is universal, right? And I love my mother-in-law, and she's so helpful for us. But I just want to use this example, this real example, that if our hypothesis test is too sensitive, then you have like p-value less than 0.05 for everything. So this is not good, okay? Have you explained no hypothesis to Arthur? No, no. No, he's enjoying. I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, but I post a lot of things from Arthur. He's enjoying music at this point, and I am so happy to see Arthur. Yesterday, we bought ukulele for him, and it's even emotional, to be honest. It's emotional to see like the movement of apparently he's lefty, because he's doing the movement of supposedly from the right hand with his left hand, so and doing the like the equivalent to the chords, with the right hand. So this is pretty emotional. But how do you notice? Yeah, so you put your, one of the ways for choose sample t, you put your sample size, the difference that you want to test, and the standard deviation, okay, of the highest standard deviation from the two samples. And then you have the power. Yeah, if you are a black belt student, there is a module about power. There is a session where I explain power in details, okay? When running a test, what can you look at to show you that you need more power? Yes, so as I said, you can calculate power. Yeah. Let me show you guys very quickly. We can run a session about power, but let me show you stat, basic statistics, and you have here stat, power, and sample size. So for choose sample t, if you have, for example, 20 data points, then you have the difference of 21. You can leave it blank, and you put the largest standard deviation. That here it should be from the population, but it's okay in this case to use from the sample. So 12.4. Then your power is 99. This is my mother-in-law. 20 is more than enough, But let's suppose you want to prove a smaller difference, like 5, then your power is 23. So this is too low. Then what you can do is to prove a difference of 5 with a power of at least 80%, or 85 or 90%. What is the sample? 0.9. What is the sample size, So if you want to have a power of 80%, you must have 98 data points. If you want to have 85% of power, you should have 112. If you want to have 90% of power, 131, And just out of curiosity, this is alpha. Here, this is alpha, this is 0.05. Oops. Take a look here. It's not showing off. I hope you guys can see at the top left side. Yeah, this is like this is an infinite topic. There is so much we can talk about that. But remember, I hope you guys are having fun with that. You are understanding where or why and how it can help you being more relevant. Type relevant. Type relevant. Okay? Relevant. If you guys understand that this entire conversation or every single word that comes out of my mouth for you guys has the objective of you being a more relevant professional, that you can run your Lean Six Sigma project, but also you can behave differently in meeting rooms. You can help solving problems in the company that you work for. And as an effect of that, you can find better jobs, you can be more respected, you can negotiate a salary raise. I love, I love when my students have a salary raise. I wish to all my blessed students salary raises. Type I receive. If you receive that, I'll say that again. I wish from the very bottom of my heart that all my students they get many salary raises, and so you can have a security for your family, for the people that you love. You can have the comfort that you deserve as a consequence of helping people, helping processes, helping companies. Yeah, it's a simple math. You learn that, you apply, you are more relevant, more respected, you help more people, more companies, and as a consequence, you are more well compensated. Yeah, your compensation will go up. Yeah, beautiful, guys. I got some technical issues to get in today. I don't know if this is exactly because of my camera or because of the OBS. I'm sorry about that. And I'm glad that you guys stayed here until the end. And I hope this 1 hour went as fast for you as it went to me in this beautiful April 15th, 2025, talking about the importance of never accepting no hypothesis. Okay? My name is Marcelo Fernandez, your Lean Six Sigma educator. Stay blessed. Stay safe. Bye bye, guys.